Hello, welcome or welcome back to Sapling Tarot. My name is Imogen. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a get to know this deck video using a whole bunch of lovely prompts, more than half, maybe 2/3 of which are from the One Deck Gone Wild community tag challenge thing from maybe like a year ago. Maybe not that long ago, or even this time. So I'm going to be not doing all of those prompts because that would take us a million years, and I do tend to waffle a little bit, so it would be like 10 million years. But what I have done is I've made a spinny wheel. I'll put a link to it below with all the questions in it, in case this would be of any use to you. But yeah, so I'm going to spin the wheel and I'm going to see what questions pop up, and I'm going to answer the questions for as long as I can, for as long as feels reasonable. The deck I'm going to be talking about is the Lilifer Tarot, one of my favourite decks. This is the deck that I'm using for Gemini season because the duality of the Lilith and Lilifer, no, Lilith and Lilifer, Lilith and Lucifer of Lilifer, and it makes me really happy. So I'm going to get the cards out and I'm going to lay them out in a way that makes sense. Okay, so I've separated them out into suits. Hopefully that will help me with finding things, and let's dive straight into a question. Something you change about the deck. Okay, so we're starting off on, I don't know, I suppose it's like a little bit of a negative. It feels kind of mean. So what I would change about it is the cardstock. Can you hear this? It's quite like frictiony. I think, is that like a rose? It's not like the most sticky of rose petal finishes. I don't even know if it is rose petal finish. I don't know enough about cards. But it's like, if you're trying to like go through the deck quickly, it kind of clumps up quite a lot, and it kind of sticks to itself. I think the cardstock is quite like pleasing, but in terms of actual use case, it's like not my top favourite. Oh, it feels bad. Okay, so next question is an outlier card. Well, the literal outlier cards would be the Lilith and Lucifer cards, because they obviously aren't like typical in a tarot deck. I do think they're really beautiful though. This deck does some like big feeling stuff. Even though it sort of feels a bit kind of cheeky, it's just, I don't know, I get some big feelings from it. And then, I don't know, a card that like feels like it doesn't fit. I don't know, I think as a deck it's really cohesive. I think I've definitely seen people talk about that before, in terms of like it being the whole package, so like the backs and the box and the little booklets and the stickers and the like the gold gilding, and it is just a really cohesive deck. So yeah, not a very satisfying answer to that one, or a very obvious answer. If I say like those are the outliers. Okay, next question. Oh. The deck's age. How old do I think this deck is? Okay, so I really have like a firm image of what I think like my like personification of this deck. And I think this deck is like in their mid-30s. I don't know literally like when it came out, or like when this edition was published. Let's say in the book 2023, so it's only like a year old. But in my mind it's in its mid-30s. There's sort of that like coming into yourself, like sparky wisdom thing. So yeah, I'm going to say that this deck is like 36, 37. What does the deck smell or taste like? I'm taking this metaphorically because I'm sure you would think it was super weird if I actually licked the deck. Although as someone who grew up as an autistic child, I know the flavours and textures of all sorts of things that I shouldn't know the flavours and textures of. So this deck actually smells really nice. It smells quite like the White Newman from Liminal 11. So like, if you know what that deck smells like, this smells quite similar. Weird sensory things. But I think that in terms of like a fragrance, like it's quite an airy deck, so I think it's probably more like a fresh, you know, maybe like kind of a summer sea breeze, or like the smell of a storm coming in. I think that's what this deck smells like. And in terms of a taste, I'm thinking like kind of umami, like soy, miso, mushroom, like that kind of flavour. I don't think there's anything, it's not a sweet deck. It's maybe a little bit salty, maybe a little bit sour. I don't think it's bitter, but I'm gonna go like it's a savoury deck, so like a miso soup. I think this deck tastes like miso soup. I know it's very brown, but yeah. Miso soup and the smell of a storm coming in. Card that makes you laugh. Oh yeah, I know this one. A lot of the majors make me laugh, but the one that like basically made me buy the deck, and again I think that's probably a video that I need to do, is the Strength card. It's a very like Thoth, there we go, it's quite like a Thoth Strength card, but I just think she's so sassy. She kind of reminds me of one of the, like the hormone monsters in, what's that program called? It's called Big Mouth or something. The one that's like the teenage girl's hormone monster who's like always horny and stuff. Really reminds me of her. I think I love her hair, and I just think it's just something so sassy about the walk, and like I know that it's the Thoth inspired thing, but there's just something, I don't know, it just makes me chuckle, and it's basically the card that made me buy the deck. So the deck's favourite deck. Right. Okay. So I think this deck is like a little bit of a kind of Miss Independent. I don't really use her with other decks. The exception of that being for Gemini season, I've been using the Blooming Lovelies Oracle, and they've been working really nicely together. It's the silly, kind of irreverent, but also like really poignant deck that it's, I don't know, there's just something like this. This and this. These Like, there's something that just goes together, and like maybe you see it, maybe you don't. Maybe it's just like my sense of humour. I know that not everyone loves the Zeppelin Moon art style, or like finds this kind of stuff funny. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that this is something that this deck would say, and so up until very recently, I didn't think that this deck had a favourite deck, although it does work nicely with the Outgrow Yourself Tarot, because you get like the black and the white, and they have sort of similar energies. But yeah, the Bloom and Lovely's Oracle is, I think, this deck's favourite deck, certainly at the moment. What superpower does it give you? I feel like it's a little bit the power of snark. And it's just like there's a confidence to it, and it's not a superiority, but it's like a, yeah, just kind of a confidence in knowing that you're right. Not right, I don't know, it's really like hard to exactly put into words, but it's very much like you got this, but in a, I don't know, there's sort of like a humour, and yeah, just like a snark to it. It's not, there's nothing toxic positivity about this deck. It's very much meeting you where you're at, but like trying to, maybe kind of trying to like push you a little bit to kind of reach your potential and be what it knows you can be. I think that's like, so the superpower it gives me is that kind of energy of like, I'm on the right track, like what do I just need to do to keep moving? Which, I mean, I don't think that was one of the X-Men, but nonetheless, that is, it feels like a superpower to me when I use this deck, and so that's what I'm going to choose. Oh, favourite set of minors. Oh, that's really difficult. Okay. Bear with me. I think it's probably the threes, but I also want to show you the fours. But you see what I mean? The deck is just like fighting me to get through. There we go. Okay. Yeah, after all that, I am actually going to say the threes. I love all the sacred geometry kind of nods in this deck. I like all the elemental stuff. I think it's a good three of swords. It's like poignant, but without being like, he's cheating on you. That's my answer, the threes. Or should we pull the Empress as well? Favourite set of mine is the threes. I like all the triangles, I like the way that they are all different, but there's like the similarities between them. You get the nice shapes, and yeah, unsatisfactory answer perhaps, but it's the truth. Next question. Favourite most evocative suit? Why did I do this to myself? I think in this deck specifically, which is what we're doing, Imogen, I think it's got to be wands. I just think that even with the kind of the blobby people and the watercolory thing, the colours and the shapes and the intensity are so spot on. And I mean, like, look at the energy in that 5 back in. Are they falling? They're doing a flying kick. Who even knows? I just think that they're just fabulous. And I'm not a super like wands fire person naturally, but this deck makes me want to be a wands fire person. Deck's favourite colour. Oh my god. I'm going to say blue because there's kind of blue throughout. So I mean, this is like, it's probably like a green, well, it's a very greeny blue, but I'm gonna say it's like still a blue in the pentacles. Sorry, I should show you more clearly. So I'm counting that as a blue. I just think it's so gorgeous. And then blue crops up a fair bit, like this more kind of like purpley blue in the swords. Oh, I love that. It's like a really kind of inky blue. And it goes really well with the red, like the pops of red. I mean, I suppose Lilifer, like I should probably say red, but I think through a process of like what's represented the most in the deck, I've got to say it's blue, because then the cups, obviously, water has this like a blue that's sort of somewhere in between these two. And then again, that's really great with the red. Oh, maybe red is the dominant colour in this deck. But there's these huge washes of glorious blues. And then there's even bits of blue in the fire suit that we've already looked in. Like there's the kind of the purples and the little bits of the blue and stuff. So I'm going to say it's blue. With like red, a very close contender. And then like mixed together as well, because there are some of these like purpley washes. And like maybe that's why I like this deck so much, is that I always seem to gravitate towards blue. I don't know if I would say I have a favourite colour, but I gravitate towards it. Best red or pink card? Oh, that's going to be really difficult. I know I've said that over and over again. I mean, that's a pretty good one. That's a good one. I mean, look. Does that not just make your heart sing, like those colours? He's so sneaky and cheeky. Oh, I love a good devil card. So we've got some contenders. We've got the devil, we've got the lovers. I mean, the colours mixing together, perfect. And then they're like blended in the judgment card. Can you even? And then like death. I reckon they're pals. Well, they should be. I think these friends. But then I will also just double check the ones in case there's someone that I'm missing. I mean, love her, obviously, always love the Queen of Wands. I did say I love the energy in that one. I mean, that's just cool as fuck. I love the kings are so square. It's so funny. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to be a really stereotypical Gemini, and I'm going to say the Lovers card because, yeah, I think that those colours all together are beautiful, and so then like secondary mention of the Judgment card when they're all blended together. Yum, 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 delicious. I have no idea how many prompts we've done. The deck's favourite book. Fuck. Okay. Pure instinct says the bell jar. Because she's a bit of a moody person. Is this like image that I have of her? So yeah, I think maybe it's the bell jar. Or does she tell people that her favourite book is the bell jar? I don't know. I also think she would really love Circe by Madeline Miller. And honourable mention for the book Lilith by Nikki Marmery? I can't remember, but I read that recently and I think she would like it. Favourite film or TV programme? Okay, we're running the whole gamut of media. I think she would have liked The Power, which also would have been a book that I think she would have liked, by Naomi Alderman? But yeah, I think she would like the TV series of that. And in terms of films, I'm having like a total mental blank on films. I think probably would enjoy Heathers. She's probably a craft girly, maybe Practical Magic, probably more the craft. Yeah, I'm gonna say favourite film is Heathers, and favourite TV programme recently is The Power, I think. I'm not as confident on those. Card that makes you emotional. I mean, a lot of this deck brings up the big feelings, like I said, but I think the Four of Swords is one of my favourite cards anyway, which might sound a bit weird, but this one, wow, it just hits me straight in the feels. I do think, I mean, it's not very original of me to pick from the swords for, well, I suppose the swords aren't necessarily emotional, but for the, like, the heavy hitters. I think that the Ten of Swords is kind of funny. So that's not the card that makes me laugh. I think the knight on the, like, the raven, or the crow, or the rook, jackdaw, I don't know. Rooks have been cropping up a lot for me recently, so I'm inclined to think it's a rook. I'm sure I could check the book. But yeah, these, like, kind of trapped cards, I think. I mean, just look. Tell me that doesn't just, like, make you feel things. But yeah, I'm gonna say that the Four of Swords makes me emotional in the sense that it hits me in the feels, but also it feels like it taps into something that I don't, that, you know, like, I'd struggle to verbalise exactly what that feeling is, and so to see it depicted in someone else's artwork feels, it's like a, you know, you're not alone kind of thing. So yeah, let's not end on that one though, let's do at least one more. Dex Fear. Oh, we're not ending on this one either. I think this Dex Fear is being misunderstood, and maybe being, like, misrepresented. I think it has a really strong idea of who she is, and yeah, to be, like, mischaracterized or misrepresented and misunderstood, I think that would not be a good feeling. I mean, and it's not a good feeling for anyone, but I think it's the thing that would make her the most uncomfortable, and is, like, the thing that she's most afraid of. This does sound like I'm just completely projecting. I don't think that's my, like, biggest fear. I mean, it's like, it's a big autistic fear, and I'm a bit of an over communicator because of it, but yeah, I think there's so many systems in it. You've got the numerology, you've got the symbols, you've got the sacred geometry, you've got the astrological stuff, you've got the tarot stuff, you've got colour stuff. It's like, it's speaking so many languages. You've got the elemental aspects. Yeah, it's speaking a lot of languages, really trying to, like, make itself be known. And so I think what it wants is to be known, and so what she fears is to be misunderstood, misrepresented. Yeah, again, we're not ending on that one. Oh my god. Give me a fun one. Other divination method that this deck likes, I reckon she's a crystal girly. But, you know, probably moving away from crystals, only buy secondhand crystals, all of that kind of stuff. I also think she probably wears a pendulum, just like as a cool piece of jewelry, but then like secretly, if she's ever feeling indecisive, she'll like take it off and use it as a pendulum. I reckon if she made a charm casting bag, it would be like the coolest fucking charm casting bag you've ever seen, like that. But yeah, I reckon she is a pendulum person. And if I could wear necklaces, she would make me want to be a pendulum person too. So there we go. This is the Lilifer deck. Do you know it a bit better now? You've seen the cards. You've heard like my feelings about it in terms of like characterizing the deck. I think I'm going to do this going forward with my decks of the month. I tend not to do like initial impressions of decks or walkthroughs and stuff, but this might be like a fun way to revisit older decks. You know, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't like an old deck, but not like the freshest, spankingest, newest of decks. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this. What questions should I add to the list? You're welcome to use this if it would be in any way useful. Like I say, not all of the questions are mine. I'll tag some people below who I think were sort of part of the creation of this list of questions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're taking really good care of yourself. If you're watching this as it goes up, you've still got a few days left to join in on the Witches of Palestine fundraiser. The prize draw is going to be on Sunday, so you have until Saturday the 1st of June 2024 to make your donations and make your entries. Yeah, so hope you're taking really good care of yourself, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye! So the deck I'm going to be talking about is the